What's going on, everyone? Just thought I'd make a little bit of a less scripted video just because I was looking through the news earlier tonight and I found something that caught my eye. And while I usually do put my videos up and I write them out before I upload them, I just thought I would try this one a little bit more casually, see what we can get going here, and if I can just get a more natural discussion out of just watching some clips while I talk about my thoughts. So what I was reading tonight is actually about Destiny 2 and the PC version that is going to be released by Bungie. And while we know that they didn't release a PC version for the original Destiny, we do know that it was something that a lot of players did want. And I thought we were honestly going to get a port when the first game came out, but it just never actually ended up happening. So they did announce the Destiny 2 PC version, and a lot of people are really happy and excited about that. And I know a lot of us have been looking for information about the game and how the port's going to be running compared to the console version. So that will be interesting to see how it pans out. But so after E3, a good amount of information has been coming out about the version. And today I was actually reading an interview online, and it kind of just struck my eyes a little bit weird because there was an interview done. And it looks like it was done by the Destiny 2 project lead. I believe his name is Mark Noseworthy, and he was having a discussion with an Australian website. They were just doing an interview, and stated, for instance, there's no recoil on guns on PC because recoil on the controller feels really good, and that losing control of your gun feels awkward when using a mouse. And I'm not quite too sure what this means because to me that doesn't really make sense. When we play a lot of competitive PC games, like I know CSGO has a ton of recoil, Rainbow Six Siege has recoil as well, and it's actually interesting because the recoil is a part of the game. It teaches you how to play the game. You have to learn to work around that recoil, and I've just really started playing CSGO recently. It's not usually my type of go-to game, but I've been playing it here and there, and while it is hard to learn at first, you do get used to it, and it's very satisfying when you learn to work certain weapons because every gun controls differently. So coming into the Destiny 2, saying that console gamers are going to have recoil and PC players are not going to have recoil, it seems a little bit off because I don't know if that's exactly how these two versions should be balanced. And they did come out later and say that while the recoil won't be completely removed from the PC version, it would definitely be something that is heavily modified from the console version. And that's just, like I said, it's a little bit weird because I don't understand. Your mouse isn't physically moving due to recoil. It's not like we have you know, gaming mice that have motors or rumble in them, because clearly we know that would not go over well with the PC gaming crowd. Having, you know, motors, like a physical motor moving the mouse, clearly that would throw off your aim. But recoil in the game as a mechanic is not something that would affect your mouse, for example. That is something that you would learn to compensate with the aiming for. So and that obviously that's going to be different with a controller, because when you're playing on an Xbox or a PlayStation 4, we do have, you know, motors and rumble, and the recoil will work differently on a system like that. But removing it completely from the PC version because of what he said here, it feels awkward to lose control of your gun when using a mouse. I just don't understand, and that doesn't quite make sense to me. So it could have just been an awkward interview. It could have been, you know, maybe misworded and he didn't quite mean it to come out that way. But, you know, they did clarify on it at a later point. They did re-update that, and it just kind of seems like, from what I've seen of the PC version from some players that have played it at E3, is the automatics, or, you know, anything that's kind of like a machine gun, it looks like it is firing with very, very minimal recoil. And once again, I know Destiny 2 is not the most competitive game, and it definitely can't compare it to something like CSGO or Rainbow Six Siege, but you have to think, why did that need to be removed from the PC version, and how does that balance out against the console players and anything that is a PvP scene? Just because, you know, PC players that are already playing with a mouse, you're going to have a stronger degree of precision than you are going to be playing with a controller. So on top of that, the added removal of the recoil just kind of makes it seem a little bit off to me. and I don't know if that's quite the way that Bungie should approach in evening the playing field between the two consoles. And while something like a PvE game type, it's not really going to make as much of a difference, it just seems like a weird way to go about the balancing of this version, and I don't know if that's too hot. It definitely seems like it's unfair to console players. Just because you're playing with a controller, does that really mean you should be subjected to recoil, or more so than a PC player? Everybody should be on the same playing field. If you have to tweak it a little bit for the PC players, then that's different, but altering it or heavily modifying it, in the words of Bungie at this point, it just doesn't quite seem to be the right thing to do. But anyways, yeah, I just thought I would try this a little bit more open, a little bit more of a discussion than kind of, you know, me writing a script and going about this video. So definitely tell me what you guys think below. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a bad idea? I mean, I'm in the side where I think it's a rather odd decision, and I don't really know if it's a necessary decision. But definitely leave a comment down below. Do you think it's fair for console players to be subjected to something that PC players aren't as heavily subjected to? Or do you think that it's important that you know, there are differences between the two versions, whatever they may be? Anyways guys, thanks for listening and enjoy.